Good morning, students. This is Ms. Nixon reading Chapter 15 for you. A Motor in the Heart. Who can tell what is the very beginning of a storm? Not a weather storm, but the storm of ideas that grows like a flame. I wondered, what was the very beginning of the young lord's storm? Was it the garbage on fire, or was it when they opened a storefront office in the neighborhood? Was their office the first flutter of things to come? Walking by their workplace after school, I could see them, all long-haired and wearing jeans and eating takeout rice and beans and laughing and pointing and arguing. Watching them became a habit. Did they see me walking back and forth, me pretending I had something to do and somewhere to go, when all I really wanted was to see what made the young lords so passionate about whatever they were doing? I tried to guess what the tall one with the dark glasses was saying, but he loped across the room too fast. Was there a motor in the heart of the young lord with the kinky hair and blinding smile, or was strutting the only way he knew to get from one end of the room to the other? And why did that other young lord look as sad as if he carried the world's problems on his shoulders? His eyes as dark as la esperanza de un pobre, as sorrowful as the hope of a poor person. Even with that sad expression, he and the others looked strong and powerful and full of meaning. Observing them, I realized sweeping the streets and passing out flyers weren't the beginning of the young lord's storm. Neither was getting a storefront office. They were just signs that something was coming. The storm began when the young lords started to go to church, the First Spanish Methodist Church, our church. They had asked the church elders if they could use space in the church for a free breakfast program for barrio kids. It was like the whole world groaned in protest. You would have thought they had asked for the sun and the moon. When the church elders recovered long enough from the audacity of this outrageous request and came back with a resounding no, the young lords decided to go to the people. And so the 8-week campaign of trying to win over the people in the congregation began. The garbage offensive had warmed the people's hearts toward them. And though some of the older worshippers were scared, they couldn't help but align themselves with the Lord's, even if only in their hearts. The young lords would wait until the end of service. Then one of them would get up and state his case, saying that the church was only open one day a week, that the space could be used for social programs, that the church should serve the people, and what better way of serving the people than having a free breakfast program for the children of El Barrio? Parishioners walked out or countered with, "No, this is our church, and we have to worship the way we want. You cannot tell us what to do. You are not members of this church." And the young lord would quietly walk away from the altar until the next time. Being told no did not stop them any more than being told no stopped me when I first asked permission to work at the Five and Dime. Weeks had passed. Summer was over, and now autumn was filling our neighborhood with its chill. Thankfully, the garbage didn't stink as bad, but there was still a fight for equality going on. After several Sundays of peacefully persisting, the young lords were starting to win the confidence of the congregation. Soon, there were more and more church people willing to go along with them. Good people who cheered them on and wanted them to persuade the pastor to see things their way. The young lords said that we deserved better medical care by getting tested for tuberculosis and for lead in our blood, that we could have education classes that would make us proud to be Puerto Rican, that society was keeping us poor and that we didn't deserve it. These ideas started to get through. People started to listen. My mother was not convinced. When the young lords spoke to church members, Mommy interpreted their attempts as, "We are taking over. We are communists because we dress like Fidel Castro. We are wild. We will change the world as you know it." The young lords scared Mommy and our pastor. The sight of them in their green army jackets and purple berets and buttons that said, "Puerto Rico is in my heart. Tengo a Puerto Rico en mi corazón," made Mommy and the pastor quiver. "The very clothes you wear tell me that you are not part of this congregation," the pastor proclaimed. The more I agreed with the young lords, the more my mother disagreed. The split between us grew stronger, and we began sitting on different sides of the church each Sunday. It began slowly. First, I sat a few seats away from Mommy, then a row away, and soon I was sitting with Angel, Migdalia, and Wilfredo, and the other people who liked what they were hearing and didn't head for the door the minute a young lord made his way to the podium. Mommy sat tight with her group of the old and frightened. Then one Sunday, Abuela showed up. She appeared as suddenly and unexpectedly as she had in my kitchen weeks before. We were leaving the church and practically bumped into her as the young lords handed out flyers. Abuela! I went to hug her and reached for a flyer at the same time. Mommy slapped the leaflet out of my hand. Mommy barked at Abuela. Why are you helping these people? They are trying to help the community, Abuela said. They are not helping, Mommy hissed. They are demanding things from the church. Abuela looked different. Now her hair was a beautiful shade of brown, and the makeup that formed her eyebrows was softened too. Evelyn, let's go. Mommy grabbed my wrist. I twisted my way out of her grasp, knowing she would be too worried about what people thought to fight me in public. Turning on her wide feet, she walked away.